Boker Tov, and it's good to see you all, Chavarim, all our friends and companions in Torah study. We are heading into the final weeks of Heartfelt Haftarah for this year and a little beyond, because the cycle of Torah goes just past Yom Kippur. So we'll keep having a few more readings before we get to Simchat Torah, and we start all over again in Genesis. So, where are we? We are in the midst of our haftarot of Nechemta, that is haftarot of comfort or consolation, reassuring us of God's commitment to us and devotion to us as we approach the high holy days. And in this particular case, we're looking at an incredibly short haftarah. That would be Isaiah 54, verses 1 through 10. That may be the shortest haftarah of all. I'm not completely positive about that, but it's pretty short. And so this particular one is chunked off from what was used at Parsha Noah, that is the portion about Noah, and it does in fact mention Noah in it. But that's not the dominant theme here. The dominant theme here is actually remarkably domestic. It uses the metaphor of a household and the metaphor of a husband and wife, of divorce and reconciliation, in order to engage the audience in understanding that what the prophet wants us to know is that just as there are ebbs and flows in relationships, there are hard times and good times in a family, so too this has been the fate of the relationship between God and the people Israel, but we are heading into a beautiful and glorious time. So the metaphors are going to come fast and furious. It's going to be uh, barren women and tents and divorce and taking back and all that. And so I'm going to just go ahead and read to you so that you have a feel for it. All right. Sing, O barren woman who has never given birth. Break out in song, you who have never been in labor. The desolate woman shall have more children than a woman who is married. And then immediately shifts over to the theme of expanding your house. It's not enough to have one of those, tract houses in New Jersey. What you want is you want one of these expansive Texas McMansions, because that's what your future holds. Enlarge the space for your tent. Do not spare the canvas for your dwelling place. Do not hold back. Lengthen your ropes. Drive in your pegs, for you shall spread out to the right and to the left. Your offspring shall dispossess nations. Cities now deserted shall again be full. Have no fear, you shall not be put to shame. Do not cringe, your disgrace is at an end. You will forget the shame of your youth. No more shall you remember your disgrace as a widow. Okay, so we got the barren woman, now we get the widow. Your husband is your maker. In other words, you are the beloved of God. The one called the God, the host of heavens, and your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel, called God of all the earth. The Eternal shall call you wife once again, O once abandoned and brokenhearted, once rejected, says your God, but a young wife still. For a brief moment I forsook you, with abiding love I take you back. And it proceeds on with that. So this is a famous metaphor, and I can't imagine I haven't talked to you about it before. This domestic but also erotic notion of the relationship between God and the people Israel is best described in terms of the relationship between lovers, a husband and wife. Um, and so basically, in very short order, Isaiah pulls out all the stops and hits on every domestic theme he can imagine for the reconciliation. The return of the people from exile represents a return to domestic bliss and all that entails. So this is a short, succinct message to us that we should feel a homecoming, uh, a reunification, and renewed joy and security in the future. That's the promise of Rosh Hashanah, and that is the nature of this particular haftarah. Uh, I think there's not much more I can say about it at this point because there's not a lot of other things going on in it. I just want to give you a preview. Next year, we're going to shift from doing the Haftarah to a new series, which I'm going to call Soulful Psalms. I'm going to start introducing us to the Psalms. There are 150 of them, so surely I can do 52 talking to you. Most of them are probably going to be ones that appear in our liturgy, either in whole or in part, but I will also include other psalms that may not be built directly into Jewish liturgy, but have great either literary or theological significance over time for the Jewish people. So that's what's it's a preview of what's coming in the year ahead. Soulful Psalms. We still have, I think, three. Yeah, I think three, maybe, four haftarot to cover before we get to the end. So I look forward to entering into the new year with you. Be well, Chavarim, and we'll see you soon.